How are we all doing, Nick, NK Active here. So, a lot of people come into clinic with their injuries, but haven't had a twist, trip or fall or episode of trauma, and wondering, okay, why have I got this problem? Why is it not settling? And we use something called the Zone of Optimum Stress, or ZOOS, which is sort of designed by a colleague of ours, Dr. Simon Spooner. You can also use Scott Dye's envelope of function. So, what the Zone of Optimum Stress is, let's just use this whiteboard as an example. So, if we sort of say this line here, this black line there is your Achilles tendon, and these vertical lines here are the amount of load it can tolerate. So we've got an underloading area here, which is basically the best way to describe that is if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you don't load a tendon or a muscle, then it gets weaker. And then we've then got the area at the end here where it's overloading, and if you go through that process, you'll pick up an injury. Now, as long as you operate within this zone of optimum stress, the theory is that you won't actually pick up an injury. Now, the hard bit is we do not know, and it's impossible to tell where someone is in that zone. However, what would have happened is that you've popped outside of that zone, picked up an injury, hence why you've come to see us. So, if we now sort of say that, for example, your day-to-day running activity, say you run 20k a week, for example, or you play tennis for 2 hours a week, it doesn't really matter, that puts your load there. So effectively, you have got that window to work with. Then let's say, for example, it's Wimbledon and you've got really excited and you've just played a lot more tennis and you've popped yourself outside of that zone now, and that's when you then get your injury. The issue then is we can then see that original zone now may reduce. So then when you then go back after Wimbledon and get back into your normal routine, which is here, you're now still overloading this Achilles tendon, and this is why sometimes these niggles just don't settle, because every time you continue to overload it, you can find that this line just gradually gets sloped narrower and narrower and smaller. So what we want to try and do with treatment is twofold. One is we want to give you a much bigger window to begin with to work with. And two, you want to reduce the load. So then you've then got a much bigger window to work with. So you basically increase the tolerance. That's when our rehabilitation programs come in. That's where doing all your strengthening exercises can be helpful. And you then reduce the load through the tendon in the Achilles, for example, and that's where footwear, insoles, taping, etc. come into play. And it's our job here at NK Active to basically try and give you that biggest window as possible. So then if you then do increase your workload or your activity levels, you're not going to get injured. So that's just a simple way that we help to describe to our patients on why they have picked up an injury, and that's something called the Zone of Optimum Stress. Any questions, any queries, just get in contact and we shall see you all soon. Bye now.